So the guy that referred me and his friends, all the word of mouth, they had Opti-Coat installations. Sometime in between them and my installation, he changed vendors.
Okay.
And he went from my Opti-Coat and one of my favorite parts where you never have to bring the car back for maintenance ever. It's permanent.
Right.
To one of the brands that you have to bring it back. And that wasn't explained to me until it was installed and I already paid him the money. So.
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we liked about the Opti-Coat is that it doesn't feel like you're like trapped and forced to keep paying somebody to maintain the warranty,
Right.
That we just know that you have the warranty and you don't have to pay them over whatever it was, $200 or something a year.
Yeah.
I was like, that's quite a racket.
Hi friends, welcome to the Opti-Coat podcast, where we share stories from detailing professionals and highlight cutting-edge products, techniques, and tools that'll help your detailing to accelerate into the future. Wherever you're listening or watching this podcast, please follow, like, subscribe, and share with a friend. I hope you enjoy the conversation.
Hey, welcome back to another great episode of the Opti-Coat podcast. I'm Jacob. We got Tug here, co-hosts, and we're joined with Ron and Alissa Podgorny joining us from St. Louis with Arch City Detail. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We're excited to chat about some specific things that we see coming up for you guys. But we love to start the beginning of every podcast episode just by asking, how did you get into detailing? Where has that led you? And how did you get connected with Optimum? And what does your shop look like now that you're Opti-Coat installers?
So, let's see. Detailing started for me as therapy from my corporate job. I worked in corporate IT, kind of the gamut of positions from coding, architecture, cybersecurity, hardware for, 15 or 16 years before this. And started cleaning our cars on the weekend as just for fun. It was relaxing. And about, 2 years ago, a friend introduced me to the magic of ceramic coating. Before that, I was a tried and true kind of wax and seal my car twice a year to protect it for the changing seasons. So he got a new truck and it had the magical thing on it that kept it clean all the time. So from there, figured out who got it put on and went there. And while I was there, the gentleman was an Opti-Coat installer, but he is no longer, and he put something different on my vehicle. And his follow-up after the sale and customer service was so terrible that it just kind of completely turned me off from him and that whole side of the business. So fast forward to early this year in 2025, and I was starting to know it was time to depart the corporate world, to put it nicely. And I got to looking at what I liked doing, what I could do, and that kind of dovetailed into us starting this business and moving into the next chapter.
And realizing that he could do it better than the experience that he had at that other place. Like, hey, I could do this and I could do it better.
Yeah, at least from the customer service expectation,
standpoint.
Technology, that end of things. So, yeah.
I love hearing that because I was reading the bio that you have for your company on Facebook, and it said, great installation process and great customer service. And I can see that you're emphasizing on that. I know that you guys are rocking this as a dynamic duo. I'd love to hear, how does that, how is that a helpful pairing as far as those two parts of the business, the grunt work and then also the customer service side? Is there kind of a back and forth? How do you lean into your strengths? What does that look like for you guys?
So today I am mostly just the social media. I will record the videos and edit them and post everything on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm still learning from him on, what to say when he gets customer calls. So he's still handling all of the sales, customer service, and the physical work that happens in the shop. I will come and help do some things. I clean my own car. I'm learning on my own vehicle. And then, just eventually when I can have more time, I have a corporate job that I work full time. So I will help when I can and do some tasks with him on the weekends and things like that.
Great. Now, one thing that I wanted to ask, just based off of seeing some of your guys' posts, and just hearing you talk about both of your guys' relationship to the business. Sometimes I'll ask my wife, like, if I'm posting something to social media, how should I word this? Or I'm explaining something in the shop. And sometimes, like, I'm not saying it goes over her head. I'm just saying it goes in one ear and out the other. I'm talking about something really technical or nerdy. How has being in the process of maybe learning some of the more, nerdy technical, we use this pad for, this process, how much of that do you think gets in the way of relating to a customer? And what are some things that we as detailers should either let's not get into that, or no, that's really important, you should focus on that because that's really going to show the value. Like, I would pay for that myself as so as you're learning about maybe some of those installer tips and tricks.
For me, I think I need things in layman's terms, and that's how I would relate to customers. But I also like to try to use the technical information and jargon because then it shows that we're more experienced and knowledgeable, even though I might not be the one who's as knowledgeable. I'm the one saying it to the customer. So I'm trying to relay that information, but also say the right things. There's a little bit of a struggle. I said something about polishing versus paint correction wrong in a post. And I said, the most people aren't really going to know that I said that wrong, but he's going to know. So as I'm trying to learn that, I just also want the customers to understand what we're doing, how much goes into this, without acting like everybody knows all these terms. So there's a little bit of a balance, I guess, we're trying to get there.
Oh yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea how to finish that, pursuit. I think especially as we get deeper into the details of the millimeter throw of a polisher and the GSM of a microfiber towel. It's fun and it's exciting, and it's things that sometimes we want to share because we're like, oh, I had no idea the low pile, is going to give me, an easier removal of the high spots of ceramic coating. And it's like, but how much do I really need to share that with someone who's coming into my shop to do that? As detailers, that we're notorious for that. So that's why I was excited to kind of ask you, like, because you guys are really ramping, pretty fast into, not detailing, but into your shop and into all the services that you're providing, which is really exciting to see. It's where a lot of detailers want to be. So with that, I was curious if you wanted to share about your shop and what does that look like? I see a ribbon cutting coming up here in October. You guys are obviously detailing in the shop. So is it like a soft launch, hard launch kind of a deal?
So we soft launched in June of this year, and all the booking and advertising and everything went live in July. And then it's kind of gone from there for a few months. And we just got tied into the local Chamber of Commerce to get the ribbon cutting and start with the other non-digital networking and advertising type scenarios.
Yeah. I was looking into the local Chamber of Commerce. I'm still not signed up, and there's so many packages, right? So what would you recommend to detailers that are looking to get connected locally? How much buy-in is necessary to get to where you want to be? And obviously you're coming from, very professional corporate kind of work, good reputation, you know what you're talking about. You want to offer really high quality stuff to your city. St. Louis is not a small town. You want to show that you're capable, willing, and we were talking earlier, using the right terminology to show experience. So what has that experience been like with the Chamber of Commerce for you guys?
So there are two that cover our area. We've joined both at this point, and they're very different. So one is much smaller and more casual than the other. The larger chamber is very organized, I will say,
Yeah.
and very corporate. I think more corporate than the other one. So I think they both have pros and cons. The smaller chamber is certainly a tighter kind of network around just our shop, with the larger chamber being more businesses, more people, and then more also people trying to sell to us, which is a downside of being in the chamber. All the B2C folks.
We might be trying to do the same, right? So networking with people, we're not necessarily focused on selling to other businesses like they might be, but we can sell to everyone. They all have cars,
Right.
vehicles. And so just getting our name out there, and the fact that where we're located and meeting as many people as possible. I think the chambers, we've had businesses in the past unrelated to detailing and ceramic, but they're a good way to connect with the community. And, we are getting signage. So we use somebody within the chamber to get signage. We had to get some prints made. That's somebody else in the chamber. And making those connections can help grow your business, because now you're their customer and they might refer you to somebody or use you in the future. So I do think that it is beneficial to join and attend the meetings that they have as much as we can.
Definitely. Now, if you guys want to, I'd be excited to hear a little bit more about how have these other businesses in the past kind of helped you to put together, this detailing system, package, social media, all of that. How is that, when we do things in the past, it's like, okay, well, we have to shut that chapter. And it's like, that it did some good, but, what did I learn from it? How have you been able to use some of those lessons to move forward even quicker into this Art City detail?
Yeah. So they were the first business, I guess, was her business. I'll let her talk about it, but yeah, it was a fun time.
I'm a little bit of a serial entrepreneur. So I've started several things that are not still going on today. Maybe a trendy thing I owned a franchise. It's one of those paint and sip franchises where you come and paint pictures and drink wine. And I'm like to claim that I'm an artist. So I taught the classes, and it was a lot of fun for a little while, but it was kind of a trendy movement. So that was not a long-term solution, but he helped me. He was the back of the house finance money man for me. And so we've learned through any of the other things that we've done that we work well together, and we recognize when one of us might be frustrated or need help or things like that. So knowing that we work well together, this was his thing more than my thing this time, that I can help complement him where he might not want to take the time to do the social media or other things. So the biggest thing I think we've learned through other businesses is how to work together well. And that's really important, I think, if you're going to be married and work together all the time, right? You go to work.
Totally.
We're together.
Totally.
Yeah, after the two businesses, we sold all of our possessions, including the businesses, and we traveled the country for 6 months in an RV with the two of us, our two kids, and a dog. So that was, and we learned YouTube at that time. Yeah, that whole journey is on YouTube. So
We have 100
That was,
videos on our travels.
Wow. Another chapter there.
I don't encourage everyone to go watch, because I think I was crabby on a lot of those videos, because I was trying to show real life living on the road with kids and everything in an RV.
In 200 square feet, yeah.
So please, if you go watch it, understand I might have been stressed a little bit, taking care of the kids and all of that. But it was a lot of fun. We left and sold everything, traveled, learned how to do some video editing and social media at that time. So yeah, there's a lot of different pieces that can come together to help this business.
That's really cool. Do you still have the RV?
No, we sold it to my sister, so she uses it now.
Well, you're gonna have to have her pay you to ceramic coat it now.
It's in rough shape.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, that's really neat. That's great, and I think a lot of people benefit from hearing from because the episode that we had last week, we interviewed each other, Tug and I was sharing about how in years past I've tried moving at the speed of cash, getting the detailing business off the ground running several times over the years, and location or there's all these different factors, but when the right thing hits at the right time, it feels great. It's like, oh, all of this work that I put into systems or process, it's all coming to fruition now. So Tug, what are your thoughts?
So I wanted to kind of go back to, because it intrigues me, the beginning when you guys were talking about I guess it was before you started detailing and you went to an Opti-Coat installer, he coated your car, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then he coated your car. It was a great experience.
The coating was fine.
Okay. And then he switched. So his customer service wasn't the best both times, right?
He coated my so the guy that referred me and his friends, all the word of mouth, they had Opti-Coat installations. Sometime in between them and my installation, he changed vendors.
Okay.
So, and he went from my Opti-Coat and one of my favorite parts where you never have to bring the car back for maintenance ever. It's permanent.
Right.
To one of the brands that you have to bring it back. And that wasn't explained to me until it was installed and I already paid him the money. So.
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we liked about the Opti-Coat is that it doesn't feel like you're like trapped and forced to keep paying somebody to maintain the warranty,
Right.
That we just know that you have the warranty and you don't have to pay them over whatever it was, $200 or something a year.
Yeah.
I was like, that's quite a racket.
It is. And I think most coating companies are like that. And and I'll say this, in just conversations with Dr. G and being with Opti-Coat as an installer since 2015, different technologies. And I'm not saying there isn't a place for shorter term coatings, but these shorter term coatings are silicon dioxide and they're being touted as 5-year, 8-year, 10-year, and there's no way on their own that they'll survive that long. Now, you come back every 6 months or every year and have some sort of protectant put on, you can limp it along, and then 5 years after the fact, you can reinstall it. That's how they're getting beyond 5 years. So now this stuff for me is all new after the fact, right? So when I started in coatings, it's a durable permanent silicon carbide. I thought all coatings were like that because Opti-Coat was my first experience. I didn't really know how to install it. I kind of had to do trial and error because there really wasn't much for any information on how to do it. It was very, it was very odd. Leave it on, work it in kind of like wax, leave it on. Oops, left it on too long. Yikes. That was my biggest thing, leaving it on, like when to take it off. But anyway, so that's just interesting. I think that's good on your part, bad on theirs, that you could do a better job. And customer service does go a long way. Somebody can be mediocre or maybe even slightly worse than mediocre, but have really good customer service. And it really does make up a huge difference. But imagine if they're both really high. And I think that you guys recognize that that's pretty awesome. So the other thing I wanted to say was, I don't know, it's weird because when I saw, I think it popped up on my YouTube, Facebook feed, Art City Detail, because now I'm getting, since talking to everybody and seeing people, now I'm getting nothing but like detailing stuff coming up. And I saw you, Alissa, and I was like, and I'll notice when it's something different. It's always some guy standing there and he's got a weird mustache or whatever, and he's talking about everybody's got weird mustaches. I don't know. They're wearing short shorts and weird mustaches. We're back in the 70s. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I saw your video because it was very different. Like, I just don't see too many females in detailing, and I thought like you were the detailer, you were the installer. So, and then having done that other podcast where I wish we would have got the other guy, the wife in there too, because and it kind of confirms my suspicion that you guys are not the normal detailers. And what I mean is, I've had the conversation with my wife many times. Entrepreneurs don't start detailing businesses because they're too smart for it. Why would you want to do this to yourself? and I poke fun at the detailing industry. It's a lot of hard work for a lot of nothing, like money and stuff. I shouldn't say that, but that's just my kind of inside joke now, I guess, which is now outside. But I think you guys, for me anyway, have kind of, in just the short few minutes we've been talking, have convinced me that there are sometimes entrepreneurs. I think you guys are, and when I see you, I think, man, this is fantastic. You guys are from the corporate world, leaving probably a lot of money to do something that's like, why would you want to bust your knuckles? And, there's obviously, it's more than just passion. And it's obviously not stupidity that would bring you to, to do this sort of thing. So kind of maybe, however briefly or however deep you want to get into it, why would you guys leave? Probably, obviously, Alissa, you're still, which is good. I mean, having a double income, if you can, is fantastic. But maybe kind of walk us through why you would, and I don't know, Alissa, if you're looking to leave the corporate world to go full-time to maybe kind of walk us through why you would do that, what that looks like, and kind of how you may get away from working for somebody else completely.
Yeah, so for me, I don't know, it was just a gut feeling that it was time to move on. So corporate world is great. I think someone described it to me like a zoo one time. It's very safe. You get fed every 2 weeks or whatever, and
okay,
you will probably have your job. But kind of one thing I've learned in my life is I love and need a challenge. And this, however long we've been doing this, has been probably the most challenging thing in my entire life so far. And I don't think it's going to get any easier going for quite some time. So
yeah,
it's just kind of fantastic. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, probably about to put the effort that I put into this into my corporate job, I'd probably be running the company at this point. So
yeah.
But
I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly if my exit from my full-time job will be sometime soon. If I can balance both, I think that's probably the smartest.
Okay.
So we'll have to see how the next year or so goes. And if he needs me in the shop because he's so busy and, we need an employee or something, then that's a great problem to have, and we'll
Right.
address it then. But, I'm unsure at this point for me.
hope your boss doesn't watch.
Yeah, don't send this to my boss.
Sounds good. Well, I was thinking with sorry, Todd's barking. I'll have to edit this out too. I got excited about what I was going to say and I forgot, and then Todd started barking. Sorry, totally derailment here. What on earth was I going to say? It was going to be great. Oh, I remember. Hold on one second. Okay, so with that, kind of piggybacking off of what Tug was asking about, jumping into making a joke about, because he's been doing this so long, all the wear and tear on your body, all the why would you go from this to that? I think one thing that is exciting, and would love to hear you guys talk about, you did detailing, you had the old school mentality, wax it a couple times a year. So like you had your system, you had everything figured out your way, and then you got introduced to Optimum and Opti-Coat. And how much easier has it become to go like, oh, we can really ramp into a profitable business that's not going to, cost me to take 14 hours on something that I could do in 6. What does that look like? Like, has that been a factor at all? Like getting your hands on all the different products, power clean to what from the Optimum line are you using that's like, oh my goodness, like this is actually going to be easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think we have used or tried all of the chemicals at this point. But of course, outside of the ceramic coatings, of course, no rinse is the favorite with all of the dilution ratios, and it can do almost all of the things, which is fantastic to have the one chemical that kind of rules them all at this point. But kind of to your earlier point, my father-in-law, who was one of our first coating customers, he kind of said it best because he doesn't care how the sausage is made, really. He just wants the result that he's paying for.
Yep.
But him being able kind of just to wipe his car down once a week and have it looking like new has just been fantastic. And they're probably our biggest, he and his wife are our biggest kind of evangelists at this point on our business and the coatings.
We've coated 3 cars for them since July.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's been great. But he made that comment. He goes,
Awesome.
I don't care all the steps you have to take. Just tell me what I get at the end. And so we've kind of used him as a model customer to say, what would he want to see in an ad? What would he want to see in a gift package? Or, we give a little bottle of the no rinse and a microfiber towel now in like a little bag with Opti-Coat, warranty information, the keychain. So we give a little gift bag. They love that.
Yeah.
And
cool.
having the maintenance products that go along with the ceramic, I think, has been really good too.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you guys offer like a QR code, leave us a review sort of thing? Like, what is there anything else in that package?
Yeah, so I'm currently sending them a thank you note with the QR code to leave us a review, and needing to implement a text or email follow-up through our CRM as well, but it's just on the list.
Right. And which CRM are you guys using?
So we have a local guy who he is in our kind of hobby community, but he set us up. So we're kind of helping him out as a local vendor. It's called Active Client Pro. He's using the same framework, I think, that one of the other ones uses, because it looks very similar, and I can't remember which one of the detailing specific ones it looks like, but yeah, it's not one of the big ones in the industry anyway.
Cool. Yeah, everyone's got, a different way. And people hearing different options is always great. Well, that's really exciting. How are you guys feeling about all this? Is it like, kind of, if you build it, they will come and they're here. We got to keep building it, adding. Are you with your packages? Is it like, okay, we're doing Ultra Shine, we're doing Pro, we're doing Pro Plus, we're doing Pro 3, or is it like, we're going with the hot hand? Like, these packages seem to be working for now. We're going to cater to who's coming in the door, or are you guys pretty stickler on, no, this is what we offer for interiors? We have this package. For exteriors, we have this package. How does that work in relation to the specific customer?
Trying to stick to the packages that we put together, but at the same time trying, I guess, to tweak them to make sure that they continue to make sense financially and for what the customers want. On the coating end, we offer all of them. The only one that I struggle with right now is kind of the Ultra Shine and where to position it and where to price it and how to differentiate it from a basic detail or trying to step them to Pro. So yeah, that's really my only struggle with them at the moment.
Totally. I loved how one time, anytime you talk to Don, he loves it when we talk about him too. Anytime you talk to Don, he's always got these little golden nuggets, and I hadn't thought of it this way until he explained it. Is there's detailing customers that you can invite into upselling into, so I kind of have my packages for detailing, and then I have upgrades to Hyper Seal or you can upgrade to Ultra Shine. And he's like, but you want to convert them into ceramic coating customers. And I hadn't been thinking that way. Like, oh, there's kind of two customers coming in. I thought it was like, if I could start them here and then maybe I can work them up to a pro. So he was able to kind of help me kind of differentiate between the two. But Ultra Shine definitely sits in that middle because, kind of to Tug's point, looking at what the coating is, like how it's constructed in the Opti-Coat world, it's kind of like, well, this is good for some people. But then if you look at it in the range of the coatings that are offered in the market, it's still a very, cutting edge, aggressive coating. So it kind of seems sometimes like, well, we could just do Ultra Shine for you if you don't want to go for Pro or Pro Plus. But at the same time, it took me a little bit to realize, oh, I'm actually offering something still that they might end up spending, twice as much for the value of what they're getting at another shop. So then you wonder, you're kind of in the in between, like, well, gosh, they're getting this quality of a coating from me over here, and they're getting advertised from someone else that they're getting in a better coating, but they're not. So I agree that finding that place to how to have the right vocabulary for it and who to market it to can be a little tricky. What do you think, Tug? Is it tricky for you?
Yeah, and I think there are two different kinds of customers. They're the detailing customers who are never going to drop north of 1,000 on anything. And then I think, and I'm struggling a little bit with Ultra Shine too. Right now I have it on kind of the detail side. And for me, I think, and I know you guys are new, which is kind of, it's good and bad. I think, you guys are just kind of starting out. So there's things you haven't gone through yet. But at the same time, there's a lot of us, veterans forget when, what I mean? You guys can kind of remind us. But I think the customer will tell you what they want, and I can think either way. I can say, I'm going to tell the customer what I want to do. This is what I think I should do. This is what I think I should need. Well, I don't want to do 2 or 3 cars a day and charge, 200 or 300 a car. I want to do 1 car a day, spend all day and charge north of 1,000, even if it's just the exterior. I want to do both. I'm going to coat both the interior and exterior. I don't think coating half of a car makes sense to me. But anyway, at least we're going to detail. We're going to protect the interior with something, even if it's the 2-year interior ceramic coating. I find a lot of people will upgrade for the interior, but then they won't choose Ultra Shine for the exterior. They'll choose like polish and a sealant. That guy's telling me what he wants because he's got 3 more cars I didn't know about. So yeah, he's not going to spend his entire budget on 1 car. He's going to spread it out. And we don't know, getting to the bottom of what the customer wants will help you figure it out. And it's possible you'll go 10 years and still won't know exactly, like, what do I do with this? You know what I mean? It's going to be a situation like that. But I think the less technical you are with it, and I'm one that has become less technical with a customer over the years. I don't use certain terms, not because, hiss, get away if you use them or do that. But for me, nobody cares about something I don't make a big deal about. Occasionally I'll get somebody like, yeah, I want these scratches gone, but they tend to not care about the protectant. Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to spend all this time, you're spend all this money, and we're just going to do a wax. It just doesn't make sense. And if they part and we don't do business, that's fine. So it's possible you won't know certain things. But the less technical I am, the more questions I ask, the more I let them talk, the quicker I can figure out what does everybody want? What does this area, you guys are in probably a metro area, there's probably a lot of money there. People might be willing to drop big bucks for, aggressive compounding or coatings or whatever. They need to see value. And I think you guys are headed in the right direction. Do you guys have plans? And I know this, I'm shifting gears a little bit here because I've been thinking about this. Do you guys have plans to do a lot more marketing or just videos in general? Or you kind of go with the flow and that sort of thing? What's your outlook on that?
So yes, so we have social media. She's diving into a YouTube channel at the moment. We have meta ads across Facebook, Instagram, Google ads are running. Google Local Service has actually been bringing us a ton of leads. I don't know if you are familiar with that, but it has been fantastic for the last couple of weeks since I had it running.
Yeah.
And then we did a mailer and a coupon book. So to reach, a different customer set that may not be as online.
Right.
We might do a billboard ad through the chamber. They have some opportunities there. Yeah, of course, the signage that we have. And I don't know. I probably won't be knocking on any businesses' doors, but you never know. She might.
I've been threatening to just go around and introduce myself. I just haven't done that yet. But I do think that's one of those other ways to just show up, give out something. I like to show up with cookies or something so people don't immediately take away a salesperson. So hopefully I'll be able to get that at some point.
Definitely. With the mailers, is that which kind of program are you doing? Is it a new mover mailer? Is it your zip code? I mean, how many zip codes are there in St. Louis and the surrounding suburbs? What's your approach?
So the one we did was a coupon book type mailer that went to 15,000 houses around our shop.
Wow.
So zip codes around our shop, and it went out. I think it went out last week. So no calls yet that we know of, but I'll let you know if it's useful.
Totally. Yeah, it's definitely for me, I got a quote for, they're like, it's starting at $1,500. And it's like, I get it, but then I don't know of any other retailers in my area that have done that and have found success with it. So figuring out where to put your money. This the Google, did you call it local shop, local search?
Local service ads. So it works with AdWords. And actually, I think it's ran through a similar console, but you have to go and submit that you have business insurance. You have to submit to a background check. You have to have active reviews on Google. I can't remember if there's any other requirements. And they vet you, and then they show up differently when someone searches for whatever the categories that you select are. But then they call direct, and Google records the call, which is good and bad. You can go back and listen to what you said to somebody, but it goes in a different console, and it's all just kind of different. But I think it's been live for maybe 2 weeks, and I think I've gotten over 40 leads in 2 weeks from that.
Cool. Awesome.
Wow.
Great. And then as far as services, again, I'm asking you questions. You're like, dude, we haven't even had our hard launch at the shop. Like, give us a break. But as we get into like a growing shop or growing services, are there things that you're not offering right now you're looking into, or you're already offering, like, looking into tint, looking into PPF, looking into undercoatings, all those different things. I'm curious about, because there's the way my shop looks right now, and there's what I would like for it to look like. What's kind of the big picture for Arch City Detail, as much as you want to share?
So tint and PPF will be next. I'm not sure if our current shop lends itself to that or not, without the ability to really have a clean room. So it would take some construction here, but those are next. After that, I would like to offer mobile services, and I can hire someone to do that. And then beyond, I have big plans, but we'll see. We'll see.
Big plans might be an understatement. But one of the things I think was cool, we saw a shop down in Florida that had this big enclosed trailer so they could pick up the high-end cars, load them in the trailer and bring them to the shop instead of having to drive them ourselves because he's picked up a couple customers' cars for them
Right.
and had to leave his truck, or I had to drive him and things. And so that's definitely one of the things we want to work out is how to get the customers' cars here more conveniently for them, but also less risky for us,
Right.
or less time consuming. And one of those things was like a really cool trailer. They could load up their car and even drive back.
Yep.
Awesome. Get a Lightning McQueen trailer.
Yeah.
Very cool. Tug, what are you thinking?
I didn't know if you had any more questions. I'm guessing you don't, since you keep deferring to me. But that's
No,
fine.
I did, and then I forgot, and then I remembered. It's an off morning because I love to talk.
Listen, you're a juggler, buddy. You're at home, you got kids, you're a juggler. You know, so you got to
Yeah.
pass me the ball every once in a while.
I do.
What I was going to say in terms of kind of along what I already mentioned about videos and social media stuff, you know, I think what I would like to see, and this is just a friendly suggestion, more stuff from you guys. I think you guys are a great example to the Opti-Coat installers. No offense to them. I'm sure they're great people. We've talked to a lot of them. They're just very quiet. You know what I mean? They're back in the corner. And I'll give you, and this is just because I'm just a car nerd. I grew up in the car business. I've always been around new cars, and I've been around new cars, and I've restored, you know, normal everyday cars, but I kind of like the contrast. You know, you got the really new car, great, fantastic. It's got 6 miles on it, rolls into the shop, or you've got the 12-year-old car. It's got 180,000. I enjoy doing them both because they both end up looking pretty equal. You know what I mean? The contrast is, you know, much better on the used one, but the culture I grew up in is I think maybe you guys don't even, you know, maybe you don't know, and that's fine, but it's very like, I don't use the term gatekeeping because I don't like that term, because if I don't want, I'm not going to force somebody to like share secrets, right? There are no secrets. What we're all doing has been done 1,000 times before, but it's a lot of times the mentality with the old school detailers is very closed off. Don't reach out, scroll through social media, look at things, and then never really get involved. I want to see people kind of get involved with the Opti-Coat podcast, and I think you guys, and I'm not saying, you know, we don't need gurus or faces of companies or faces of anything, but like just friendly faces. And I think if I can encourage you guys to, like, you know, you got to take care of your customers first, because for me, making a video for your customers is very different than saying, hey, Opti-Coat installer group on Facebook, check this out, or the Optimum Car Care group. It's very different, right? I'm not for educating detailers. I avoid it. I stay away from it. I like to poke fun at it because I find it very, very therapeutic and satisfying to make fun of someone specifically or just in general. But anyway, I have a lot. I said a lot of words here, but maybe you guys could. Do you think you could kind of go that route and be kind of a little bit of a maybe post in the Opti-Coat group, or does that make sense? Does that question make sense?
Yeah. We have to get her invited to the group to talk
I'm
to
not
Don.
Okay.
I'm not yet.
I read the group.
Uh,
I just don't post a lot, just like all the details you're
Okay.
talking about. So, but yes, I'll try for
Yeah.
you, Tug, to be a social butterfly.
I wouldn't
Amazing.
expect anything less, Ron. Appreciate it.
The only other serious question that I had is, how close are you guys to Sump Coffee?
To what?
Sump in St. Louis.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
So
Oh no, it's the best coffee shop in St. Louis.
really?
Oh
All right.
yeah.
I've never heard of it. We've grown up here.
Look at that.
I don't drink coffee though.
Oh yeah, it's so good. They're
Get-
award
Get
winning.
out. Just leave the podcast. You gotta go. You gotta get off the podcast. Shoot.
I've got
Oh
yeah.
man.
Right now we have homework, I guess.
You gotta go. It's a
Yeah.
super cool atmosphere, and they've got another shop in Nashville I've been to as well. So I was gonna say, if you're close, I'll have to swing by. My dad lives in Mexico, Missouri, so
Okay.
Not too far away because they're almost on the way.
Even though we don't know where it is, we'll figure it out.
There's a Mexico, Missouri.
There sure is. Can you
That's
believe
so
it?
weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. Anyway,
They have a restaurant downtown Mexico, Missouri, where they sell kangaroo and alligator, like alligator steak and kangaroo. It's I've had it. It's
wow.
I
Sounds
can't
like
say that I would have it again.
Did it taste
sounds like
chicken?
Bobby Boucher, mud dog, football.
It was they had to add a lot of like seasonings to it to make it taste like, I don't know, palatable. So I don't know. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to
Yeah.
get kangaroos shipped into Mexico, Missouri, I think, but I'm just a detailer. What do I know? Well, we really appreciate you guys taking the time. I know this was definitely a pivotal time for you guys, just being all in, jumping into it. So I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah.
We'll be excited to have you back and hear how things are going and how the shop is treating you and location and how some of these things like the mailers have worked out. I think that's really helpful information for other, any detailer, installers. Sometimes we get set in our ways and we forget to think outside the box. So do you guys have any last thoughts you wanted to leave with, or any thoughts on what you're trying to do with Art City Detail to, just enhance the lives of the people in the metropolitan area of St. Louis?
So for me, I think every car should be coated, honestly. It kind of
Absolutely.
hurts my soul to drive around and see a dirty, swirled car. So
Yeah.
yes, I want everyone as a customer, but probably
Yeah.
not realistic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we are trying to, besides the customer service aspect, is being convenient as far as booking online, having all the information available to customers. They don't have to call, but if they call, they get Ron and, answering the questions and everything. You could text, call, email, but it's literally everything's on our website, and trying to figure out what the customers really need and want to make this easy for them. That was a big focus too with getting started. So we're hoping that they find us and appreciate that part of it, and that they get their car all cleaned up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome.
Simple, to the point. You guys take care of all the details so that they can just drop their car off and pick up a shiny new car, new looking car that's going to last for years to come. So thanks so much for hopping on. And
Yep.
we're looking forward to just seeing how the ribbon cutting goes and from there on out.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you,
You
guys.
got it.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Bye.